All right, today we're going to explore a really short but powerful story. On the surface, it's about a lake, but really it's about something every single one of us is looking for. A little bit of clarity, some stillness, and just a moment of peace in the middle of all the noise. Let's get into it. So our story starts out really simply. Just picture a lake. You know, the kind of place you'd go to find some quiet, some calm, some kind of reflection.
But here's the thing. There was a huge problem. This lake, it couldn't do the one thing a lake is supposed to do. It couldn't show a clear picture of the sky above it. That beautiful reflection, it was just gone.
And you have to wonder, why? Why was the reflection gone? Well, the reason was actually pretty simple, but it's also really profound. The lake was just in a constant state of motion. It had literally forgotten how to be still.
So that brings us right here to the lake that forgot. This is where we're going to look at what was really going on and see just how this once calm lake completely lost its sense of self.
I mean, think about it. Every single day, it was just nonstop chaos. The wind would whip across the top, creating all these ripples. Leaves were always falling, cluttering up the surface. And to top it all off, people were constantly throwing stones in, sending out wave after wave. It just never, ever stopped.
And the outcome of all this constant activity? Well, the surface was just a mess. It was completely distorted. So anyone who came to the lake hoping for a bit of clarity, all they found was this jumbled, confusing picture. There was no peace there at all.
You know that feeling, right? Of being totally overwhelmed? That was the lake. It was carrying absolutely everything. All the noise, all the movement, all the weight, and it never got a single moment to just settle down. It was so busy reacting to everything happening to it that it had forgotten what it was supposed to be.
But then, just when it seemed like it would go on forever, something changed. This brings us to an unexpected stillness. And you'll see, the shift didn't happen because of some huge effort. It happened because of the exact opposite.
One evening, after all the usual chaos finally died down, the stage was set for something totally different. Something the lake hadn't felt in, well, a very, very long time. For the first time in what felt like forever, absolutely nothing happened. And right there, in that quiet, empty moment, everything was about to change.
And this is the most important part. The lake didn't try to be still. It wasn't fighting the ripples or trying to push the leaves away. It just stopped fighting. It allowed the quiet to happen. And the water, well, it started to settle all by itself.
And that allowance, that moment of letting go, leads us right here to the truth on the surface. Because in that new quiet, the lake finally discovered something incredible about itself. As that very last ripple faded away, the reflection came back. And it wasn't a distorted mess anymore. It was the actual sky, clear, perfect, real, mirrored right there on its surface. The beauty was there the whole time, It was just hidden under all that noise.
And this gets to the core of what clarity really is. It's not about adding more stuff, more thoughts, more effort. It's a state that comes from letting go. It's not about finding something new. It's about uncovering what's already there, once you finally clear away the clutter.
So what was the big change here? It was a total shift in strategy. The old way, the exhausting way, was to constantly fight the ripples, to resist every single little disturbance. But the new way, the one that actually worked, it was just to allow for space, to move from a place of resistance to a place of allowance.
Now, this isn't about becoming some perfectly still, unresponsive pawn forever. Of course not. It's about learning to use stillness as a tool, a way to reset, to take a breath, and to find its center again before, the next stone gets thrown in. And this is where it all comes together. Because this story isn't really just about a lake, is it? It's the perfect metaphor for our own minds. Your mind is the same.
So often, when we feel totally swamped, what's our first instinct? To think harder, right? To make more plans, to put more pressure on ourselves. But what if? What if the thing we really need is the exact opposite? Not more thoughts, or plans, or pressure, but just a few moments of emptiness, a little space for all those mental ripples to finally settle down.
This is such a critical mindset shift. We live in a world that tells us that if you're silent, you're lazy, and if you're still, you're weak. We feel guilty if we're not being productive every single second. But this story flips that idea on its head. Stillness isn't a weakness, it's a profound strength. It is literally the source of our clarity.
And here it is, the final, most powerful idea. Creating that quiet space in your mind, it's not about getting lost or losing your way. It is how you clear out all the noise
so you can finally see the true direction that was there all along. You don't lose yourself in the quiet, you find yourself.
So the story leaves us with this one question. Just like that lake, our minds are constantly being hit with the winds of pressure and the stones of daily problems. And the only way to get that clarity back, to see that true reflection of ourselves, is to allow for those moments of quiet. So the question for you is, when will you let your noise fade?